call the meeting to order. First, we have some housekeeping items. The mayor and myself, the members of the 2558 Placentia Royal Canadian Army Cadets signed a Remembrance Day proclamation on November the 1st for Remembrance Day. On November the 11th, the elite laid wreath at the ceremony of remembrance at the cenotaph here in Placentia and at the Veterans Park on behalf of the town. I'd just like to thank the Legion for actually putting out such an event. It was a fine crowd this year. It starts to get back to a little bit the normal crowd, back probably 2019 before COVID. It was a fine crowd. The weather was great, and certainly nice to see. And I certainly want to say thank you to Wayne, your Chair of Hockey Campaign, and the Legion for actually taking that on and make sure that's carried out every year. Certainly, it was a nice event and was well received in the community. So thank you for that. November 16th is National Day of Remembrance for Road Crash Victims. It is a day to honor and remember those who have lost their lives or have been seriously injured on Canadian roads, often in preventable crashes. In Canada, there are approximately 160,000 vehicle crashes each year, resulting in more than 2,800 deaths. There are also many significant dilapidating injuries. To reduce the risk of motor vehicle collision, follow the posted speed limits, adjust driving to road conditions, do not consume drugs or alcohol when driving, do not drive impaired, wear seat belts, and eliminate all distractions. It's funny that should come up this month because I know our fire department actually responded to a motor vehicle accident in the last while. So I just want to say thank you to them for doing that. It wasn't a pleasant one, I know that, but certainly I'm glad the fire department and people there responding there. So thanks for that. Congratulations to Brooke Lannon, Jordan Pomeroy, and Lean Shea, who received the Premier's Athletic Award, recognizing their hard work and commitment to their chosen sports. Brooke was for ball hockey and both Jordan and Lean for softball. Adoption of the minutes dated November 15th, 2022. Moved by.
So moved.
Moved by Councilor Wilson, seconded by Councilor Power. Any errors or omissions on that? Adoption of the minutes. Moved by Councilor Wilson, seconded by all those in favor. Motion carried. Adoption of the minutes dated October 18, 2022. Moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by Councilor Wilson. Any questions or comments on that or errors or omissions? There are none. All those in favor? Motion carried. Adoption of the minutes dated November 13, 2022. Moved by Councilor Wilson, seconded by Councilor Smith. Questions or comments?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a comment on the minutes of November 13th. I have two comments to make. I've been contacted by several residents since Sunday, wondering as to why this meeting on November 13th, a special call public meeting, wasn't live streamed. Now, I know what I was told here in the meeting. I'm just wondering if we could let the residents know as to why we didn't live stream this special call public meeting.
So normally what we've done in the past, we've always televised our monthly public meetings. There is some cases that we have not in the past done special meetings, with one agenda item on it. Nothing that has been out of the way or nothing that has not done before. And so that was the reason why.
So, Mr. Mayor, I was told here in the meeting on Sunday that we're not actually obligated to live stream our public meetings. Is that the case?
There is, under municipal act, maybe the CAO can talk about municipal act in regards to live streaming. So we're not obligated under the act to live stream our meetings. We do it, to try to get the message out to residents. We do every monthly meeting just like here this evening. That's just been the protocol. Anything else?
The second item that I had from that meeting was, Mr. Mayor, and I expressed my concern over this on Sunday, and I just want to do it tonight for the public record, is that I strongly disagree with councillors participating in the day-to-day operations of the town. I don't think it's correct, I don't think it's the proper procedure, and it's going to get us into a situation one of these days with councillors and staff that is going to be messy for us. I'm a strong advocate that it's not the right way that we should be doing business here at town center. So I just wanted to make a note of that.
So, that agenda item was debated there on the meeting that was outlined in the November 13th. We did have a debate and we did move a motion and it moved forward by council.
And I have no issue with the motion, Mr. Mayor. I'm glad the work is getting on.
Thank you. Anything else from November 13th? All those in favor? Motion carried. Any business arising from the minutes? Here none?
Mr. Mayor, just got one note on committee structure. I'm a little bit curious as to why we would look at changing the structure of our committees now. I do know there is a few new councillors on council, myself being one. And I'm finding that after the first 15 to 16 months, and I'll be honest with everyone else, I didn't really think it would take that long to get myself acclimated to council. I'm just wondering, like, and this is from my own personal view, if we change up committees now, is there going to be another learning curve for us new councillors? That's my concern with changing.
I will say, I know for me on council, everything is definitely a learning curve, and I guess the first 2 years are not easy, it's difficult. But for me, appointing committees, I will take direction from council. If council feels the committees are fine, and that's the motion, and that's the wish of council to continue on for another year, or if council wishes to mix it up. So, I'll take direction from council, I'll take suggestions from council on how we move forward with committees. So with regards to that, so, we'll have a meeting, we'll have a discussion, not in the public forum, but amongst ourselves on how we move forward with committees, and then maybe we do leave for another 9 months, but that will be for council to say, and we'll go from there. That's how I feel. Any other questions or comments? Good. Hearing nothing, we'll move into new business. Next one, I guess the Port of Argentia update. We haven't had a meeting with the Port of Argentia. I will say probably in the last 2 months, we do have one, and I believe on the 30th of November. So I guess at that point, we'll be able to bring something back and see what's on the go from there, just let everybody know. Next, we'll move to the executive committee report. The executive committee met on November the 9th in the boardroom. There was myself, the deputy, and Jamie Lee. The first person was Mr. Gallagher, and the executive assistant was Mr. Smith. Coming out of that, we got 2 recommendations. So the recommendation is that council approve the CAO to modify the existing terms of the P4 agreement to include amended dates and timelines to move forward development. Moved by Councillor Wilson, seconded by Councillor Hopper. Any questions or comments on that? I will say that this is just to give them leeway to go do it. The actual agreement itself will come back. We'll see what it is, and still got to go for council to vote. All those in favor? Motion carried. The council approved the CAO to negotiate the parking lot and garden in the town square owned by the Episcopal Corporation with the parameters indicated by council. Moved by Councillor Williams, seconded by Councillor.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to
Thank you,
declare
Deputy.
for this one.
Deputy is going to declare a conflict. Please note it. Thank you. So moved by Councillor Williams, seconded by Councillor Smith. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Motion carried. There was another one, there a request for increase to the gas. That was right now, that is put off. We didn't see it right now because the agreement was actually just signed, an extension, so we want to see where fuel prices are actually going. It could go up, it could go down. So right now, we're just going to hold on and see where it goes for next while. So committee structures, we did talk about that. We will actually have, meet on that and see where we're going and decide the council how we're going. That was it for committee, executive committee. Anything else from anybody on that? Any questions? Motion on number 3. So council rejected the request from provincial medics to increase of $800 in addition to previously awarded $4,000 under the multi-stream collection contract to help alleviate diesel fuel charges. So actually, basically what we're saying, council reject the request from provincial medics for an increase of $800.
In addition to the already,
Well, they already had 4,000 that we already agreed to, so we're not going to engage on the basis of what I'm saying, so we're rejecting the request of $800. Moved by Councilor Williams, seconded by Councilor Wilson. All those in favor? Motion carried. Anything else? Anybody have any questions or anything else in executive? Hearing none, we'll move into the finance committee with Councilor.
The Finance Committee met on November the 8th, and in attendance were Councillor Jennifer Power, Deputy Mayor Wayne Power, was there as chair, Jonathan Galgay, our CAO, and Kathleen Smith, executive. And the following motions, recommendations, that council approve payment of invoice from Rebuilt Pumps and Motors Limited in the amount of $5,648.66 to rebuild the pump at Martin Smith Station. So
Moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by the Deputy Mayor. All those, any questions or comments? Where?
Mr. Mayor, I have one question. I do know we just rebuilt the pump down there at Latton's. Am I hearing correctly that there's another pump out down there now?
Sheriff, you have any?
I don't know.
For me, I did hear there's another one. They are trying to identify, is it the pump that was actually in the station that was continuously working, or the new pump that's in there? If it's the new pump that's in there, it's still under a 30-day warranty that they would actually be able to get it fixed for no cost.
Hopefully that's the pump then.
Oh, sorry.
I know there was a pump that had been repaired some time ago, that the work wasn't up to par and therefore requires additional attention. Stand to be corrected on which one it is, but it is being reviewed by staff.
Can I just ask a question about rebuilt pumps and motors limited? Is there any particular reason why we moved to them? Because I do believe we were with a group in town over there, next time.
I think you go back and forth to get quotes from both, so what you know to do, so that, and I believe, they used to be called Floyd, I'm not sure what the name is now, but
It's like pumps.
yeah, so I know they do go back and forth and get quotes.
Oh, okay.
But what you're saying is, if we're getting quotes from one of these businesses that are not living up to what it is, and we're not getting the quality, then, you know, maybe after they're moving to the quality over quantity. I guess, you know, staff can decide. All right, all those in favor? Motion carried.
that council approved the remaining accounts payable transaction journal dated November 4th, 2022, in the amount of $40,120.75.
Moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by Councilor Williams. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Motion carried.
That council approved the check register for the operating account in the amount of $452,447.32 for checks numbered 030706 to 030778.
Moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by Deputy Mayor. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Motion carried.
And council approved payment of visa statements dated September 28th to October 27th, 2022, in the amount of $4,981.63.
Moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by Councilor Wilson. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Motion carried.
And council approved a one-time interest forgiveness to source number 132694 in the amount of $380.03. The account was paid in full.
Moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by Councilor Howard. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Motion carried.
And council approved a one-time interest forgiveness to source number 132542 in the amount of $1,838.13. The account is paid in full.
Moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by Councilor Williams. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Motion carried.
That council approve a one-time interest forgiveness to source number 132815 in the amount of $599.32. The account is paid in full.
Moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by Councilor Powell. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Motion carries.
That council approve business tax credit to account number ALANT001 for 10 years in business as budgeted for the business tax incentive program.
Moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by the Deputy Mayor. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Motion carries.
That council approve business tax credit to account number SUPER001 for 25 years in business as budgeted for the business tax incentive program.
Moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by Councilor Williams. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Motion carries.
That council approve business tax credit to account CAREG001 for 25 years in business as budgeted for the business tax incentive program.
Moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by Councilor Wilson. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Motion carries.
That council approve business tax credit to account number MOB1L001 for 5 years in business as budgeted for the business tax incentive program.
Moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by Deputy Mayor. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Motion carries.
That council approve business tax credit to account number RISEN001 for 25 years in business as budgeted for the business tax incentive program.
Moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by Councilor Wilson. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Motion carries.
That council approve a monetary contribution to the Placentia Area Historical Society in the amount of $1,000 to help alleviate the cost of renovations at St. Luke's Church as requested.
Moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by Councilor Wilson. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Motion carries.
That council approve donation to the Placentia and Area Food Bank in the amount of $1,000.
Moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by Councilor Williams. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Motion carries.
That council approve renewal of Everbridge for the Placentia Aware Notification System in the amount of $4,558.68 plus HST per year on a 36-month lease as recommended from the Marketing and Special Events Committee.
Moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by Councilor Williams. The only comment I want to make here is thank the committee and the resource person, Ms. Power, for work on this. When this first started, but I think it was quite a lot higher than what we're getting now. So I just want to make a note and thank you for that. All those in favor? Motion carries.
That council approve renewal of Neo postage meter from Modern Equipment at a cost of $125 per month on a 66-month lease.
Moved by Councilor Smith, seconded by Councilor Powell. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Motion carried.
That council approve sponsorship in the amount of $2,500 to the Men's Recreation Hockey League to promote our French culture during hockey tournament with the St. Pierre Hockey League in January.
Moved by Councilor Williams, seconded by Councilor Wilson. Any questions or comments?
We will be directing ways for the staff to find cost sharing.
You can note that any kind that the staff can do will be also welcome here also. Important event for our history and our culture. And reach out and have the communications with the people in France and the delegates and see how we can.
And that's the report.
All those in favor? Motion carries. Anything else, finance chair? Hearing none, we'll move to the Public Works and Public Safety Committee.
Public Works and Public Safety Committee met on November 7th at 7 p.m. In attendance, myself as chair, Councilor Fitzpatrick, Councilor Williams, staff in attendance, Jeff Richardson, Director of Public Works, and Ms. Debbie Gear, Project Special Project Coordinator. We have one recommendation and one ratification. The committee recommends that council accept the highest bid of $2,000, HST included, as is where it is for the sale of the 2010 Chevy Acadia.
Moved by Councillor Wilson, seconded by Councillor Smith. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Motion carried.
Ratification, make application for multi-year capital work program funding in the amount of $5 million to continue the freshwater water line project and upgrade the service lines and the main line in 2 phases over the next 2 years.
Moved by Councillor Wilson, seconded by Councillor Smith. Any questions or comments on this? All those in favor? Motion carried.
Other topics discussed at the
Do you have
meeting.
another motion for the equipment for the playground?
Oh, no, that's under recreation.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Other topics were discussed. The Public Works Director explained that there's a problem with the lift station in Argentia. This is another item that's going to have to be discussed with the port once we have a meeting and outline our maintenance responsibility with the port in town. We also discussed the paving contract for the next 2 years. And as a result of price increases, decreases, we're going to defer this to later in the year or early next year. Sander repairs, the committee was informed that one of the Sanders required a new wiring harness versus $1,200. That's done. Freckle Place culvert replacement, this project is complete. There was the paving that was done will be resurfaced again in next year. The P4 Place Construction Road, the town will be requesting Newfoundland Power to install a light on the pole near the construction road entrance to P4 Place. Capital Works update. Capital Works projects update includes circulation for council. Freshwater outfall, which I believe is going to be awarded this week, or be started this week. Sorry, that was awarded a few weeks ago in Collins contracting. Regatta Grounds lift station, Radco still waiting on parts. Jersey Side stormwater collection system. The wood study engineering sent government was a draft only, so the tender was not issued and was pulled. The final version of the study is now in the hands of government. Submission and job is expected to be re-tendered around the second week of November. Station road erosion control was stalled due to an employee illness. The staff person is now back to work and will make a site visit in the near future to get the engineering plans underway. Jersey Side wave wall repairs. Rock Engineer was the lowest bidder on this project, and we're waiting for government to review tenders before award. The Skater project, the contractor's troubleshooting software. Other projects applications have been made, submitted funding upgrades for the freshwater brook. And as I spoke on the ratification motion, the new water lines for freshwater, potable water lines. The town is anticipating approval application for the Dunville service lines in the near future. Culvert installation has begun on Harbor Drive in Dunville. Chlorine analyzer has been for the Blockhouse Road lift station, sorry, and compatible with the SCADA monitoring system. Safety issues. Further research will be done in an appropriate traffic claims system in both Philmarie Drive and the main road intersection of Jersey Side Hill and Coalyard Playground. Push button strobe lights and signal is suggested. Pricing and information will be provided by the committee for recommendation. Christmas lighting installation will be ongoing again this year. There was some discussion on hazardous waste collection, why it wasn't done this year by the Multi-Material Steward Board. However, we're looking to have that corrected for the coming years. Also, flooding at freshwater questioned, next to Mayor's Red, freshwater was brought up. And, going to be looked into to the Department of Transportation. That's it for me. The meeting was adjourned at 8:45.
Yep,
I just
sure.
wanted to ask, was there anything back on the study of the wave wall representation?
Engineering report, anything on the engineering report for Wave Wall?
The wave wall for Placentia, there's wall repairs.
Yeah.
Rock Engineer was the lowest bidder.
Representation.
I think
No,
she's
representation,
the engineering. we done
Oh,
some-
sorry. No, I didn't hear anything on that. I think maybe our CAO may have.
Anything, Jonathan, on that, Jonathan?
The study took place last Friday from, there were two engineers that were here who wanted to take a review. The report has not yet been submitted on next steps,
Okay.
but it has been completed.
Just on the stormwater collection, I mean, I got emails, this week about the water after the rainfall. Still voicing their concerns that this has taken so long to complete it. Forwarding along to actually ask to take the emails and forward, emails and pictures, forward along the transportation works. That, you know, we are concerned that this project has taken too long. Just another thing, just a note for Councilor Wilson. Station Road, the employee illness, that was a government employee, correct?
Yes, that was
Okay.
government.
All right, thank you for that.
Yes, sorry.
Anything else from anybody?
Mr. Mayor, I got one question there. I know in the notes there, it talks about the culverts and, I know there's a note there saying there was a concern that the chair may be in conflict with deciding on the road, however, because there's no financial being conflict doesn't apply. I'm just wondering, when it comes to a conflict, is that the decision of council to determine whether or not a conflict exists or not?
I guess the question will be if there was a gray area, if somebody wanted to bring a complaint forward, if you got a complaint forward with regards to a conflict or any councilors in conflict, that we brought forward to the council, and I guess the council would have to make a decision. And from there, then we would, handle it appropriately. The council would actually, if there was a complaint brought forward that someone's in conflict with in regard to it. And so it's like anything, they would have a chance to defend their action, just like anything else, it would go through a process. Am I correct in saying that, CEO?
Mr. Mayor, the more concerning issue for me with this culvert job up in, on the Lower Road in Humble is the fact that the involvement of the council with the in-house concept drawing, to me, that's a major issue for the town. It's a major issue for me because I do know, as a councillor, our role as councillors is to provide policy and guidelines to the town, to the employees for them to carry out. Our role is not to participate in the day-to-day operations of the town. You know, I don't wanna seem like I'm beating a dead horse when I talk about this, but I really do feel that as councillors, our sole role as a councillor, we were elected to provide policy for the town, not to participate in the day-to-day operations of the town. That was my main concern with this issue.
Well, we debated this issue, duly noted that this was debated and the motion was brought forward. If there's anything else, then certainly want to bring it forward. I mean, council will duly look at it and, make a, decision on if there's somebody to bring it forward regards to if there's a conflict of interest that has taken place.
Mr. Mayor, it's the, when we talked about this issue on Sunday, when I left this meeting, I was of the opinion when I left here that this council has no issues with councillors participating in the day-to-day operations of the council. I'm having a lot of trouble accepting that. I'm having trouble accepting that.
If staff brings forward concerns about, and this is brought up before, and yourself as Councilor Williams has actually brought it up. If staff feels that council is interfering with day-to-day operations, I suggest that they go to talk to the CAO and bring the issues forward.
I'm just gonna make one more point here, Mr. Mayor, and then I'm going to be quiet. In the councillor handbook, under section 2.2, responsibilities of the municipal council, Municipal councils are responsible to provide balanced decision-making and sound financial oversight. Section 2.5 states, relationship of council to staff. If the roles of councillors and staff are not clearly understood, there is potential for conflict between elected officials and municipal staff. That's not a role we need to go down. And then there's a distinction between policy and administration. Policy is the collective decision a councillor makes subject over a period of time. Council spend most of their time establishing policy, leaving administration to staff. Administration is putting council policy into practice. Once policy is established, staff act without further reference to council. And I just don't understand why we as council cannot follow those guidelines that have been set out for us.
If there's any issues or concerns, certainly our CAO and our staff can lay that out, bring forward to council if there is concern. Anything else?
This is for me. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Williams.
Mr. Mayor, just 2 points to issues raised in the report. Number one being the flooding at Freshwater Crescent. There near a fire hall that occurred again on Sunday past after the rainfall. And in the middle of the morning, 11:30 or so, there was still a lot of water built up. So there were additional pictures taken and forwarded to the MHA. And she continues to look to the department to determine that, or to try and convince them that Mother Nature is not the cause of the problem there, and it's their infrastructure. So we need to continue to build on that and encourage residents to do the same when the water builds up there, to let them know that there is an issue there. And just a point of clarity, I think, on the household hazardous waste, it was the Eastern Regional Service Board that eliminated that, not the MMSB.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Anything else, Mayor, for Public Works? There are none, we'll move on to the Recreation Committee report. Councilor Wilson.
Recreation Committee met on November 7th. In attendance myself, or Councillor Jamie Fitzpatrick as chair, Councillor Mike Williams and myself. Staff in attendance, Jeff Richards, Director of Public Works, Ms. Debbie Guerra as Special Project Coordinator. One recommendation. The committee is recommending that council approve the purchase of a playground equipment number 704-F063 in the amount of approximately $60,000 and for the playground at Jersey-Side.
Moved by Councilor Wilson, seconded by Councilor Williams. Any questions or comments? This will actually come from the gas tax fund, correct?
Yes, that's
Yes,
right.
the gas tax.
That's right.
So could you make sure that's added to the motion, please? All those, any other questions or comments?
That's good.
Good. All those in favor? Motion carried.
Other topics that were discussed at the meeting. Staff was directed to remove all dilapidated wood playground structures from the Cold Air Playground, Veterans Park, and Freshwater Playground, as it's not CSA approved and it has become a safety hazard. Some arena issues. The Economic Development Officer, Jennifer presented an update of the arena activities for the past month. And one other item for the arena, the canopies over the doors on the exit doors at the arena should be reinstalled before winter, as it can cause a safety hazard. And staff are looking into this. Other item, the hot water boilers were brought up. Staff is looking into upgrading or replacing the hot water boilers at the arena. And we're looking for options to take the place of the hot water boiler. Installation of exterior lighting. Subcontractor at the arena offered to install some lighting, but later withdrew the offer. The staff are looking for an electrician to do this job. The company has been engaged to commission the CO unit at the arena. Staff will be trained on its operation at the same time. Also, topic ice board advertising. Ice board advertising. This was discussed, and right now it's, there won't be any interest. Right now, we can't put any advertising on the board due to the ice is on the arena now, then you won't be able to take off the actual boards that are there, and they will have to be replaced in order to put advertising boards up. Also discussed was the weekend janitorial at the arena, and the staff are looking into this. We also got one complaint about a damaged table at the arena. Councillor Fitzpatrick advised PDO to write minor articles that are informing of the incident. And also the pay telephone at the arena has been disconnected. It was resulting in prank calls to 911, so it was disconnected. The meeting was adjourned at 6:15.
Any other questions or comments regarding the recreation committee? Hearing none, we'll move on to tourism economic development committee. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our committee met on November the 8th with myself as chair, Councillor Power and Councillor Smith, the manager of Tourism American Communications, the economic development officer, the CAO, and the executive assistant as our reporter. We have no recommendations to report from our meeting. To give you some highlights of the discussion, our sense of arrival, the town staff along with the Chamber of Commerce staff have met with the Department of Tourism now to try and get the sense of arrival initiative back on track, and meetings have been productive thus far. We continue to work with funding agencies, including ECOA, to move forward our town square project, and that the highlight of that is the installation of a new stage in the town square. Small Business Week was held back in October, and we had a successful event at the Arts Center focusing on funding supports that are available for small businesses, and our economic development officer facilitated that. We're exploring the idea of resurrecting an application from a number of years ago with regards to heritage district status for the town, and we're engaging some research on that right now. Our business incentive awards, as you saw in the finance committee report earlier, there were several businesses that applied for the incentive, the tax break for this year, and we're glad to see that, and we continue to work on ideas to develop that program. The Placentia Bay Industrial Showcase, by all accounts, was a great success this year. The theme was Waves of Change, and by all feedback that's been received thus far, it was a great event, and lots of benefit to the delegates in information sharing, and I think the economic impact in the community was well received as well. We had some discussion on housing issues and the concerns that exist with affordable housing and its availability in the community right now. And we've asked the Economic Development Officer to work with the Community Connection Housing Coalition to get us some data that we can use to further lobby government agencies to help us address that issue. Our Economic Development Officer is also planning a holiday passport program. She's reached out to businesses looking for participants to help with that. And the general idea is if you spend money locally in the month of December, you get a ballot to enter to win a prize. So that's still under development. I know contact has been made with local businesses to engage them in that. And there'll be more information on that forthcoming. We're going to look at the idea of putting together a proper welcome kit. We've had some feedback over the last little while that new residents to come to the area, they're looking for an information package. So we're going to work together to put all of our information that we have maybe available in different venues right now, put it all together in one package. So we hope to further explore that in the months ahead, and also look at the Communities in Bloom program. At the Municipalities Convention this year, we saw great success in an example from Town of Bay Roberts, and looking at the things that we are already doing in our community, we can probably look at participating in that program and get some recognition, and also look for ways and things that we can do to improve our programming as well. And that is it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything for Deputy Mayor, Police Committee report? I guess the only other thing, Wayne, Deputy, I'd like to point out is the 10,600 that the committee raised actually for the breakfast program. That was $10,600 for each school this year. That's $1 a breakfast, so roughly over 21,000 breakfasts were raised in the night at the Three Sisters. So hats off to the committee for cheering that. So hats off to you guys for actually doing that, and certainly is a welcome thing for kids in the community.
And thank you, Mr. Mayor, for joining us at the school presentations there a couple weeks ago. Very well received by both Breakfast Club programs at St. Anne's and Lovell.
That it for the Deputy Mayor? Move on to Planning, Development, and Community Enhancement Committee. Councilor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Planning and Development Community Enhancement Committee met on November 7th. In attendance was myself, Mike Williams, Chair, Councillor Jamie Lee Fitzpatrick, Councillor Gerard Wilson. Our resource person was Director of Public Works, and our recorder was Debbie Gear. There was some new business. We had a few permit applications. We had an accessory permit to construct a personal shed up in Dunville. We had a general repairs permit application for land excavation in Dunville. And we also had a demolition and removal of a building. And to my knowledge, that dilapidated property which is coming down was the homeowners themselves, I believe. So it's good to see homeowners taking a bit of responsibility for their properties when they're in disrepair. There was a fence repair on Legion Street, and there was an approval in principle renovation to a multi-purpose room at 100 Main Road, and I'm assuming that's 100 Main Road is in Dunville, I'm not 100% sure. There was an update on the permit fees. Last one, it was reported that the Board of our Agents applied for a permit to construct the road to the runway at a cost of approximately $3 million, resulting in a permit fee of roughly around $60,000. This fee has since been reduced to $30,000 based on the submission of the tender bid in the amount of $1.5 million. Fort Frederick, there was a discussion held on the Fort Frederick upgrades. The issue of Fort Frederick upgrades has come to the table in the past. The committee is requesting that staff submit an application for gas tax to get funding in place to proceed with this project. This will be and has been referred to the CAO. There was a report coming out on gas tax today, which we all received. We also received the copy of the radar stats for the past month, I believe it was, with the traffic back and forth through Dunville. There is quite a bit of traffic moving around. You wouldn't think there's that much, but there is. That was it for the report.
Again, any questions or comments? Councilor Williams?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a few comments about the report. For the record, back on October 18th at our last public meeting, we had a discussion on the Fort Frederick upgrades. And during the discussion, Councilor Power had made note that she had submitted the permit for the Breakwater Farms, the Farmers Market on October 18th. I'm just wondering as to why, as the committee, we haven't seen that.
I'm gonna declare a conflict in this and leave the room.
That's fine, I'm just curious with the permit.
So was there a permit submitted? I haven't seen no permit submitted.
Well, I haven't seen the permit either, but I do know Councilor Power had noted in the meeting that she had applied for a permit for a farmer's market. I'm just wondering, it's a month later, and as a committee, we never see this permit.
I have no
I'm just
knowledge.
curious what happened to it.
I have no knowledge of a permit. It hasn't come to your committee. So I guess what we'll do is if there's any permit, I guess it'll have to come through the front desk or come through our public works superintendent. As normal permits process when permits are submitted. Usually when permits are submitted, it goes to the staff. Staff reviews the permits. If it's in compliance, they will move ahead with issue of the permit. If it's any discretionary use, it goes to committee. To my knowledge, and all our permits are put on the site, any permits that are actually approved, actually go on our town site for all our residents to see.
The town wouldn't, if there's a permit for town property, no one has the ability to put a permit in town property.
Oh, I didn't say it was a permit for town property. What I said was, Councillor Power in the last public meeting stated that she had put in a permit for the farmer's market. I don't know where the permit was for or what it's for. I'm just wondering, as a councillor on planning and development who deal with permits, why did that permit not come to our committee? It's been a month.
We'd have to confirm if the permit was submitted. We'll check.
Well, I mean, Council Power said it in a public meeting. That's for me, it's confirmation enough that there was a permit applied for.
If the permit is submitted, the committee always receives information as it relates to permits.
Perfect.
I have never seen a permit.
No, I just want to bring it up for the record that that permit was supposedly applied for and we haven't seen it. And I also have concern with another permit that was applied for here. At our committee meeting on November 7th, we were informed that there was a permit applied for by the St. Anne's Valley in Dunbo to put a few partition walls in the church for offices. We see the permit, it was brought in, it was shown to us. My concern with the permit is shortly after the permit was dropped off here at the town, there's a stop work order being issued on a permit that hasn't even come to our committee yet. How is there a stop work order being issued on a permit that has not come to committee?
I never issued a stop work order permit, stop work order on anything related to that. That's miscommunication as it relates to the issue. It was miscommunication. I was actually here when the permit was dropped off. There is no stop work order that I signed for that property.
Town, there should no stop work order at all. Anything else?
I have a question.
That's good for him.
Fort Frederick, do we have that plan and when was that created?
There is a plan for Fort Frederick. I guess that would have been created. I'm not sure what the date on that was.
2016, I believe.
2016, there was a report for Fort Frederick that was created and that outlined pricing and updates and or upgrades that could happen at that, in that area.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else for Councilor Williams? There are none. We move on to marketing and special events meeting. Councilor Bob.
Marketing, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Marketing and Special Events Committee met on November 8th. In attendance was myself as chair, Councillor Smith, Deputy Mayor Power, Management of Tourism, Marketing Communication, the CAO, and Executive Assistant. We have no recommendations at this time, but some highlights that we had at our meeting. Upcoming events, we have a Voices concert on December 14th. That will be advertised soon with details. We have the lighting up of the square, November 28th. Public Works have begun decorating the square, creating light archways and getting a real tree. And we will have music and hot chocolate served, and there hopefully will be a light show. And also we have the parade coming up on December 3rd at 1 p.m. We will be partnering with the Dublin Lions Club to organize this event. Prizes for floats, and Santa will be distributing goods, bags to kids in the town square following the parade. We have a Mummers Parade planned for December 27th. We haven't had any luck with this the last few years. So this year we decided that we're going to have it in the Art Center, and we're going to have the Music and Friends Guitar Group play. And these events will be advertised by the manager. We'll get posters out soon. And also other business, we talked about disposal advertising and waste diversion. So we want to get out an educational piece to residents on disposal of waste oil and tires at garages. Old paints can be brought to paint shop. Electronics recycling at the waste facility on Fox Harbor Road, and recycling clothes in the Diabetes bin by the Vicentia Mall are just some examples that people can do to keep the waste out of landfill. And that's all we have that's all I have to report.
Any other questions or comments regarding the marketing and special events committee report? Here none. Any with regards to move on to other business of council, that's it for that. Councilor Wilson. Councilor Hall.
I'd just like to thank, I'd just like to congratulate Brooke Lannon on her ball hockey award, and also Liam and Jordan on their softball awards from the premier.
Councilor Lee.
I'd like to reiterate what Jennifer just said and congratulate all three of them. I'd also like to say I attended on behalf of the town these celebrations at Val. And want to say congratulations to principal and staff and teachers and the students, because it was very respectful. It wasn't exact.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a few quick comments. One of my comments is actually a question. I'm curious as to why there's no more department leads are no longer attending public meetings. Is there any particular reason why our department heads don't attend these public meetings?
That has started probably in the past, there's absolutely no reason, department, if council so wishes to have department managers here that could answer questions. I don't think there'll be an issue with that, that we haven't had department managers meet in the meetings now for, I'm not sure how long, but it's been, I know the last council, I don't think they had them all here either, Alpine, so. I mean, if council so wishes to have people here and they need to get, if there's answers not getting, questions not getting answered, by all means, we can certainly have that, that's not a problem.
No, it's not, to me, it's not the issue of the question being answered. The CAO answers all questions to the best of his ability. But in the event that the CAO has to step out, there is no one here to, there is no one else after the CAO, so I just bring that up for a note. Mr. Mayor, I just want to get back into I just want to talk very briefly about the live streaming. So I did have, like I said, I did have some conversation with your residents the weekend, quite concerned over the live streaming. I do believe that live streaming of our public meetings is one of the best things this town has done in the last 8 or 10 years. They're not doing it that long, but it's one of the best things they've done. We do have a lot of residents out there that, for reasons out of their control, they cannot get out to the public meetings. So, you know, I know what I've been told, that it's not something that we have to do, but I just want to bring attention to a motion that was made back in 2018. Motion number 18-062, made by Councillor Collins Power and moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick. Be resolved that a motion to pursue YouTube law for broadcasting public meetings is adopted. Carried by Mayor Power and unanimous. There was a note made to that motion. The committee is planning a mock session to test sound equipment and production of the meeting. And there was a second motion made that night, the website upgrades motion. The motion to approve 5669 plus HST for website upgrades was referred to the Finance Committee. And the reason I mention that motion is because since Sunday, I'm being told, as was everyone else here, that we do not need to live stream our public meetings. I just, you know, for the sake of transparency, this is one of the best things town's done. My question is, and I've been asked it since Sunday, why did we not live stream our meeting on Sunday?
We live stream all public meetings we have, unless there has been technical issues, we've done them all.
Yeah.
No different than the last council, there were special meetings at council that happened, that were not publicized. There were one item agendas that came in, and council came in and approved the item and moved on to the public meeting. That's what happened in the last council, and if you like, I will be able to get examples, if that's what you want, of when that happened. All our public meetings have been broadcasted since this council started. We have done it, no different than this evening. The deputy mayor joined in, we are live streaming, and we'll upload it for the residents to see once it's done. I don't know of any incidents, other than that, you're saying that our public meetings have been broadcasted. There has been.
Except for the special call.
Especially the call meeting,
on
and that,
November
and I
13th.
told you on that, in Sunday special meeting, that has happened in the past on other councils. And if anybody wishes to contact me, I can certainly give them a date and time of examples when that happened prior to this council.
Mr. Mayor, I was told here at the meeting on Sunday, due to the fact that there was residents in the gallery, we do not need to live stream public meetings. On July the 19th at the public meeting, we had residents in the gallery and the public meeting was live streamed for the residents. I just find it very odd that this particular meeting a few days ago was not live streamed.
Under the act, you give 48 hours notice to the residents that a special meeting can be called. That was put out, residents were notified, the gallery was open, anybody could have partaked in that, and that's what we carried out. We followed the act as it's laid out in the terms of municipal handbook, you can check it. I'm sure you're after checking it for other things, but that's what it is. Now, Deputy Mayor.
Just on the comment there about being told that because there was people in the gallery, we didn't have to live stream the meeting. I think I may be the one that provided commentary on that Sunday morning. And the commentary I provided was that because the public gallery was open, that satisfied the requirement that the meeting was public. I didn't provide commentary that it provided that we didn't need live stream, but the fact the gallery was open provided that it was a public meeting. The other side of this is, it's past tense right now. And earlier tonight, we adopted the minutes of Sunday's meeting, so they will be readily available tomorrow at the Wicket if anyone's interested in learning what happened at that meeting on Sunday. I mean, the minutes are a matter of public record now. So the fact that it wasn't or was live streamed should be a mute issue, but going forward, we should strive to maintain that piece for the community and live stream the meetings. But the minutes are a matter of record now and they're available for viewing when the office opens tomorrow.
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to make one more comment to the topic of live streaming. I would suggest that the town update our website and our monthly newsletter stating that we will live stream only when there's no one in the gallery, because that's what it looks like to me here.
We will live stream when there's people in the gallery, just like there's people in the gallery tonight. We're live streaming here tonight. No matter if there's anyone or no one in the gallery, we will live stream.
Perfect, I'm glad to hear it, but why do you not live stream Sunday? I mean, it's a simple question.
It was a special media council, one agenda item, as I stated, and in the past, as other councils before us, had not streamed a special live meeting when it was called. I can give examples of that in the last, if anybody wants to reach out to me and have explanations, I can give examples where motions were passed on a special meeting of council for one item that had not been live streamed. Any other business of council? There are none, I make a motion to adjourn, moved by Councilor Wilson, seconded by Councilor Power, meeting adjourned.